Now, should the UK legalise all drugs? We're taking your calls 0207 862 Zack's party has made it a policy to make all drugs from cannabis to heroin and crack cocaine legal in the UK.
Oh my word, I haven't done a video on Daily Express's right-wing windbag, Carole Malone, for some time. But when I saw this, Zack, Polanski and Carole on the Jeremy Vine show, I had to take a look. And me, it turns out even Zack struggles to get a word in edgeways as Malone barks on, resembling a rabid animal unable to listen and be respectful to listen out anyone else's opinion. OK, so the subject is making drugs legal. Take it away.
Well, I think you need to do a bit of research, Zack, and I think you're peddling very dangerous policies here. You need to do some research. There hasn't been a war on drugs in this country for the last 50 years. This country has, by stealth, been decriminalising drugs for the last 50 years.
Are you ready? See if you can see Carole Malone pause to take a breath and watch out for the points where Zack and Jeremy are smiling in disbelief. And also the point where Polanski states, this isn't really a debate, is it?
Cannabis in this country still, by law, holds a maximum of a 5-year prison sentence. No one that I know in the last 30, 40 years has been sent to jail for that. Anyway, but what I hear you doing, which I think is terrifying, you are literally campaigning for vulnerable young people to be taking more drugs. You're advocating giving them free poison. You are advocating young people to stupefy themselves, causing possible brain damage. And what? In the name of a civil liberty? In the name of
would they not be
freedom?
doing it anyway? That's his point.
My big point is in Portugal they did this. Drug death reduced 80%.
I'm so glad.
There is no evidence. There is no evidence that legalising something.
Stop.
There is no evidence that legalising something.
You don't get away with mentioning Portugal with hearing the truth about Portugal.
I was just finishing my point, Carole, despite you shouting me down.
Do not mention Portugal.
Okay, hang on. Let's show. This is like Fawlty Towers mentioning the war. You do Portugal, and then Carole will respond on Portugal.
Please let me respond.
There is no link across the whole world between legalising something and someone doing it more. Ultimately, we need to make sure that people are protected, that they are safe. So you're actually making the opposite of the argument.
But what's the Portugal point?
The Portugal point is that when they legalised drugs in Portugal, drug deaths have reduced 80%.
Okay, what's your answer to that?
My answer to that is you clearly haven't done any research, because even great supporters who 10 years ago supported Portugal are now going against it. The government in Portugal is now talking about criminalising drug use again because it's out of control. The number of people the number of hospitalisations in Portugal for cannabis taking, for psychotic episodes and schizophrenic episodes has increased 30-fold in the first 5 years that the policy was introduced. People are now saying that the mayor of Porto, the second biggest city in Portugal, is saying that this policy helps no one anymore. It's actually killing kids. It's
would
getting
more
kids
people take drugs if they legalise them?
More people have taken drugs in Portugal.
That's just not true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not true. We need to look at the science
and the information.
Carole,
let him answer.
And the data.
Hang on.
He's not going to talk about Portugal because he doesn't know the facts.
This Portugal thing's great.
The Washington Post has just done a massive investigation into the Portugal scenario and said it's not working.
I mean, what we're hearing here is the right wing in countries are very unhappy that there is now.
Hang on, Carole, just a sec. Let Zack get Zack's first time on the show since he became Green leader. Let's let him have at least one sentence.
He's peddling nonsense.
Yeah, but you've got to let him peddle it.
I mean, for Carole to shout peddling nonsense after that rant is quite some audacity.
I'm not peddling. I'm peddling facts. I'm peddling facts, and you smiling and pretending to be all thinking about. These are facts.
I'm laughing because medical health professionals are saying over and over again, who I trust more than you, Carole, are saying that ultimately this is a way to deal with unnecessary drug deaths. And although I'm smiling, this is a really serious issue.
Sorry, King's
Drugs
College
can be really dangerous.
Just a sec.
King's College London.
I mean, this isn't really a debate, is it?
Talking about the dangers of drugs. The Yale School of Medicine talking about the dangers of drugs. You haven't read them.
And I'm talking about the dangers of drugs. And I'm saying, let's make sure that drugs are safer by being in a regulated market rather than being in a black market where gangs and county lines.
You think that in countries that have decriminalised...
Why do you not care about vulnerable children, Carole? Why do you not care about the vulnerable children that are having to sell drugs?
I do.
Click here for another video about Carole Malone.